There are many tracks across the NASCAR schedule that many may call difficult. Tracks like Atlanta, arguably how Atlanta used to be, tracks like California, tracks like Charlotte, tracks like Bristol, tracks like Martinsville. But of them all, one of the hardest tracks is the track Too Tough to Tame here at Darlington Raceway, and that's where we are for round number 7 here in the Area Truck Series. My name is Finny DeCuna here with Connor Hornet. Connor, as always, glad to have you back in the booth with me for some action here. Last night in the Cup Series, a lot of action here. I expect nothing less more from the Truck Series.
I'm going to be honest, I think I expect a little bit more. I think these trucks are going to race really well under the lights. When I went to the spring race, when the trucks were under the lights in real life, it was an absolute blast to watch. I expect more of the same tonight. This is going to be pretty fun.
Indeed, here practice just finishing up here as you got these guys rolling around the racetrack. Here you can see them there, and they all got fantastic paint schemes. But before we take a look down to the drivers on the track, let's take a look at the driver standings heading into tonight's round. Top of the charts is Ryan Hartz with Jordan Hurley, James Coley, Matt Bell, Travis Beckner, and David Wise are all locked in. And everyone else chasing in behind AJ Roderick, Brad Slaughter, and Justin Sogak. And I imagine Roderick and Brad Slaughter definitely waiting to get a victory. Both of them pretty quick week in, week out. And then obviously the guys in the bubble still trying to look their way in. Ryan Swan, Danny Ware, Jeff Wilson all on the outside looking in.
Yeah, Roderick and Slaughter looking really good points-wise. They're really the only ones not locked in on a win, looking okay points-wise. We know Brad Slaughter's been fast, just hasn't been able to close the deal. But once you get the 9th with Anna Sogak, it's pretty much every man for themselves. Only 6 points separating, I believe, 9th to 13th. So that's extremely close there to tie at the cut line between Hearn and Swan. That's going to be a big thing to look at. And then you got the guys like you were talking about, Danny Ware, Jeff Wilson, Garrett Grant, Swerve Irvin. These guys have to start getting something going now.
Yeah, it's also amazing, too, to point out is that we've had a different winner all 6 races with all 6 of the spots being locked up. So there are less and less spots available. We'll see if that's going to continue, if that trend's going to continue with the with different race winners every single week. Take a look at the team standings heading into tonight as well. Jacob Bell Racing with a solid lead over David Weishart Racing, although they're catching back up, especially with David Weishart taking home the win last 2 weeks ago at Atlanta. IRLC Motorsports in 3rd, Sci-Fi Racing in 4th, Sky Motorsports back in 5th.
Yeah, then those two teams at the top, like we've been talking about, they're starting to separate themselves, and then a pretty frantic fight in the mid-pack, and then they start to drop off the further we go down the order. But this team battle's exciting, the driver chase battle's exciting, and the man that really got an exciting win 2 Tuesdays ago was this guy, David Weishart, who somehow was able to prevail at Atlanta.
Indeed. Taking a look at David Weiser. Doesn't have a throwback, but there are plenty of drivers that do. We'll try to take a look at some of these paint schemes in practice. There's Brad Slaughter Jr. with his number 8 machine. Throwback to Dale Earnhardt, a good wrench car. Looking nice. These black and silver ones always look really nice. It's kind of hard to go wrong with them.
Especially under the lights. Reminds me of the Nova that Dale Jr. was putting back together. Always saw his tweets about how he was putting that car back together. I believe Dale Sr. won there at Rockingham with it, and he restored it, and it looks pretty dang good on the truck.
Taking a look at Cameron Hearn, his 67 truck. It looks like they actually got a bit of an error with that paint scheme. I think I see some of the stuff from the painting area on the deck lid, so I'm not sure if there's an issue with his paint scheme. Taking a look also at Colin Fambro. And unfortunately, Connor, you and me, we don't quite know where this paint scheme is coming from.
I have an idea. It's some sort of Sabco car, whether it's Sterling Marlin or someone else, I'm not sure, but I definitely recognizable Coors Light.
Yeah, I was going to say with the
before it's a silver bullet.
Right, I was going to say that makes sense with the Coors Light. It does look very nice. I do wish we knew which one it is exactly, Connor. You seem to have more of an idea than me. We were trying to look through. This is one of the few we really couldn't figure out. Ryan Hart's in the number 3. I think that's pretty obvious what this one is a throwback to.
Yeah, and once again, the silver and black combination, you can't go wrong. Saw the 56 go by of AJ Roderick, a beautiful Martin Truex Jr. throwback to, I believe, definitely it's Michael Waltrip Racing days. I believe that's maybe the 2013 paint scheme primarily. The rear bumper is pretty solid as well, but I love the overall paint scheme. It just looks so sleek, and it really makes you think, wow, Truex has been in NASCAR that long, and he only had probably 3 wins when he was driving this car. Think about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, this was before he really went on a tear when he moved on over to the 78 machine. That's when he really started to show his prowess, and even in the 19 car. But 56 is where you can arguably where he really started to make a name for himself. So really solid throwback there. Trying to take a look, Jordan Martin in the 11. I want to say this scheme looks awfully familiar. I can't quite put my name on it though.
Red Horse Racing. You always knew who was Red Horse Racing with the classic box around their numbers. Don't know what specific scheme it is from them, but they're very recognizable. Always recognizable in the Truck Series until their sudden shutdown. Maybe that must have been maybe over 5 years ago at this point. But they were always a staple, always contenders for wins. Multiple drivers running their cars, running their trucks, excuse me. But definitely a solid choice, and I think it fits the Truck Series throwback vibe nicely, as Red Horse Racing, as far as the Truck Series goes, is a very historic team. And speaking of historic, I don't know if I would call Cole Custer historic, but it's certainly a throwback. He was youngest driver and youngest winner in NASCAR history, I believe, New Hampshire. It must have been 6 years ago, so it does check out.
Indeed, it does, and solid job on the logo on the hood. Really solid job trying to make it recreate that Haas Automation logo in that style. It came out very nice. 25 Cody Cutterer, I think no 5-way esports and none of their guys really have a throwback. 46 Garrett Grant, I believe this is what he runs on a weekly basis.
Reminds me of the Frank Kimilarka car he won a championship in, but that, like I said, I'm pretty sure that is his normal scheme.
Number 6, Christopher Tate, going to check the throwback. Actually, as we go to qualifying here, so wrapped up trying to look through the order. We have plenty of time to watch to take a look at the rest of the paint schemes, and if for the fans that want to vote, you can vote. There is a fan vote up. There's a link in the description of YouTube and in Twitch. There's also a link there as well for where you guys can go vote for your favorite paint scheme that you see on the track tonight. If you don't know what the link is, I'll just say it on the broadcast as well. It's areaiRacing.com/vote. If you're still having trouble, just go to the areaiRacing.com page, and there's a tab on the top for a throwback contest, and you can select your favorite schemes. You actually can make 3 choices of your favorite schemes, so go out there and vote on that. And because we got qualifying starting up here, just want to make a mention about the Area iRacing Twitch that I alluded to before. Fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all Area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in chat. You'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem free merchandise with. Again, that's the Area iRacing Twitch channel. Taking a look, guys out here qualifying. Danny Ware in the 00 ripping around the track. Ryan Hart's the number 3. He's taking the green flag to start putting a time down.
We'll see what lines these guys run. We'll see how much speed they can keep in 1 and 2, especially in a truck. It's so important to keep the momentum up through 1 and 2 to get that big run down the back, Boeing back stretch to get into turn 3 with a head of steam.
And you saw right there, Reinhardt getting very close to the wall in turn 2. Might have tapped the wall, and we saw that caught a few people off guard, especially eventual race winner Jake Nichols in the 19 last night. He caught the wall in qualifying and validated both lap times. He had to drive his way back from 32nd all the way back up to the lead. Somehow managed to pull it off. For Ryan Hart, his lap did count, and he's only going to need... he made 2 attempts, and that second one will count. Jeffrey Wilson, the 85, he's done with his attempts. Tyler Hallman in the 42, ripping around the track now through turns 1 and 2.
The DW throwback, can't go wrong with this. Really, in my opinion, the paint scheme that I recognize DW for the most, other than maybe the Tide Ride, but I remember seeing a lot of DW's highlights in this. I believe it was the Western Auto machine, and it was always fun to see. Always fun when I was younger, I guess, to see highlights of DW. You just, if you don't live in that area, you just don't know how darn good those guys were. Yeah,
this is definitely my favorite DW paint scheme. I always love seeing this store-bought pop up. It's a very popular one, I think, for a good reason. It just is such a solid-looking paint scheme, especially from that era. It just looks really nice. The orange, the black fading into the white. It just looks really, really good put together. Cameron Hearn in his 67 just jumped to the top of the board, as well as the 41 of Cahill Holmes. A bit slow on the uptake for qualifying. Not a whole lot of guys out there at the moment. Eric Wineland in the 21. He's taking his sweet time. You can see him warming the tires up and actually even picking up the right front, swerving down the front straightaway.
No throwback here. I guess he's trying to get the tires in the best temperature. We've seen that happen. Seen people do that really all season long. Saw it at Atlanta, surprisingly, and it definitely helps some lap times there for qualifying. So he's going to get up a little bit more speed here and go for it the next lap for sure.
Ryan Swan in the number 19 coming across the line. Kyle Busch throwback for him. The zip line, is it or Z line?
Z-line.
Z line, thank you. Z line throwback for him. Currently 15th as he comes flying out of turn 2. He's got one more lap left.
Really could be anyone's throwback. Denny Hamlin drove a similar car like this. I forget the name of some other Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. I don't remember if it was Brad Coleman or maybe who was the Extents guy? He drove it as well.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking.
I forget his name, but Kyle Busch definitely had more. Kyle Busch definitely had more success in it, though.
Oh yeah, I definitely think most people. I want to say most people attribute it to him, but Danny Hamlin also had a bit of success for it. Ryan Swan having a little bit of success, up into 7th at the moment. For Eric Wineland, he is currently 17th. That's after that one lap. He's coming sliding out of turn 4, a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a bobble across the line for him. Does he improve? He took his sweet time on lap 1. Lap 2 was when he's pushing up to only 12th for the 21 truck.
I think the guy I was thinking of was Kevin Conway. I finally remembered the name.
Oh, yes. It's
kind of a meme, but who's not a meme is Casey Kane. This is the throwback to his scheme. I just remember him dominating at Charlotte in this paint scheme and not getting the win he really deserved. I think he blew a tire at the one time. I don't know if it was a specific paint scheme, but I remember those Mopar schemes. It seemed like whenever he showed up in that machine, he was always bad fast.
Matthew Bell's looking pretty quick at the moment. 9 truck is oddly in 9th place at the moment. I'm sure he probably doesn't want to exactly stay here. I think he's going to try to see if he can get a little bit more speed, a little bit more time as he comes out of turn 4 again. Across the line for the 9 truck. Will it be an improvement for Matthew Bell? It will be. That'll put him up into 2nd place.
Really solid lap. Really, it was smooth the entire time around. He really wasn't trying to push it too hard and was just able to make it work. 77 for Jacob Bell. He gets way sideways. Not way sideways, but definitely had to chase it up the track.
Ooh.
Gonna get use as much of the track as he can out of turn 2.
Also want to take a look at Travis Beckner. Watermelons on that truck. Will he be as fast as the watermelon farmer? Up into only 7th for the 28 truck.
Trying to see, is this a throwback? I guess technically, if it's watermelon, you could technically say Ross Chastain, but I don't believe it's part of the contest.
I assume, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I remember seeing him on the vote. I do not see him. Still a solid paint scheme, though, nonetheless. Taking a look, Jacob Bell jumped up into 10th place, the man we were just looking at before. AJ Roderick in the 56th, that beautiful Napa Auto Parts throwback. I'm not going to lie, I think I prefer this generation of Napa paint schemes to the Chase Elliott ones. I don't know if it's the nostalgia talking.
Well, there's too much white in it now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But simple is better sometimes. Chase had really, his first 2 years, in the 24, those paint schemes are beautiful.
Also really love the commercials from Napa back then.
Those
the ones with Michael Waltrip, those are hilarious.
The ones with Truex were good too. I'm biased to Truex because he's from Jersey, and we don't really have many race car drivers other than the Truex family. So
Jordan Hurley in the 5 truck, he comes across the line. I think he's actually just kind of out there running at the moment. He's up into 8th. He'll stay there for now. Tommy Ryan sitting on pit road has not decided to go out there yet. Actually, he's going to come off the track for a second. Looks like Jordan Martin in the 11, he did make an attempt. However, he hit the wall both times or gave up on both laps, so he will definitely be starting from the back. Here comes the 99 now onto the track.
And a throwback for him with the ever recognizable, Megadeth paint scheme that we've seen him in all season long. Can't miss it, and it's usually pretty fast and competing for the win. Or usually flying through the air. I think that's the last time we saw him.
Yeah,
now that I think about it.
Yeah, last time we did see him, always taking off. Should probably have SpaceX on the hood of that car. Because he went into the strat.
So why not?
I really genuinely wish there was no ceiling. Like at all on iRacing, just to see exactly how far he would go into the air.
Oh my gosh.
He
would not have stopped.
So much momentum going upward at the Atlanta race. That was hilarious to look at. I'm sure he's going to hope that doesn't happen again.
I don't think it should. If you haven't watched that, you got to find the broadcast from 2 weeks ago, Tuesday night. That was a heck of a race. All 3 races that week were amazing at Atlanta. But that one probably took the cake for the craziest moment.
Yeah, I saw someone posted that clip on Reddit too. I ended up seeing them the next morning. As you look at Tommy Ryan, currently 30th with his first time down, trying to see if he can improve on attempt number 2. Right on board, he's going to come flying. I had a feeling. I was looking at him in turn 2. I was like, he looked a little bit high, and you have to nail that. It's such a hard corner to nail, especially when you're pushing and qualifying.
It's one of the most precise corners in NASCAR because it's really, if you miss turn 1, you're probably not going to do a good job out of turn 2. He was sideways out of turn 1. He didn't really get to the very bottom. He was sliding just to keep it off the wall. And because of that, he was trying to carry too much speed to make up for it. And once again, didn't get to the bottom at the apex of 2. And if you don't hit that apex, you have to get right to that dotted line on entry and exit to 1 and 2. And if you don't do that, you are not going to make it out of that corner unscathed.
Yeah, with that, qualifying is pretty much over. No one else is making an attempt. And there's actually a few drivers that didn't attempt to qualify. James Coey, Charles Canita, Shane Abbey, Josh Taylor, and Jeff Noe in the 55. So it looks like they're all going to elect to not put a time down, which is a bit surprising. Because, I want to say qualifying is pretty important, but we saw Jake Nichols last night just prove everyone wrong. Just drove out to the field from 32nd. Granted, he had 200 laps to do it. These guys don't have nearly that long. They have only 120 laps on tap for tonight. So I think qualifying is going to be important, but probably not as important as it may have been, especially for the Cup car, because I thought the Cup car was going to be really tough to pass with, but those guys were flying around each other like it was nothing.
From my experience, I had a Monday league race a few months ago at Darlington, and I missed qualifying. I thought it'd be hard to pass, but it was honestly surprising. The key is to save the tires, at least in the Cup cars, from my experience. If you save the tires, you're going to be able to fly by people because they will not have the grip out of the corners, and you'll fly right by them. There's only 2 yellows in a 167-lap race, and I got up to 3rd. Top 2 are pretty far out, but you can pass here. You might think it's really difficult to pass here, but saving those tires goes a long way to making passes, and I think keeping your nose clean is going to be more important here than most of the other races this season. You got to stay out of trouble, and most importantly, try to avoid the Darlington stripe because it hurts a whole heck of a lot more on the sim in these trucks than it would in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to try to avoid the wall. It's such a hard thing to do. It's easier said than done. Not just avoid the wall, but considering all the speed is up against the wall, especially in comparison to a lot of the other tracks on the Cup schedule, it is really tough to do, and that's why we associate the classic Darlington stripe around this place, because you're up there riding against the wall all race long, trying to find as much speed as possible.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a Twitch poll tonight, but my poll would be how many Darlington stripes are we going to see? And I'd put it at like 16.5 because I think we're going to see a lot of drivers get close to that wall and get a little bit too close. It's so easy to do because usually, especially in turns 3 and 4, you're pushing the absolute limit. And even in the middle of 1 and 2, we've been seeing in qualifying, you're pushing the absolute limits of the racetrack everywhere you are. So it is so difficult to stay off that wall. And once you do, it grabs you. And you got to be careful if you're on that outside line. If someone hits the wall, that wall will grab them and you might have nowhere to go.
Andy, and it looks like we're getting ready to grid here, so let's get down and start your lineup because we always end up running out of time for these things. There's so many guys to cut to and go through on this order. We got 38 trucks lined up here for tonight, so let's not waste any more time and go through your starting lineup. Starting on pole, David Weishart in the 33. Colin Farmer is going to be lining up next to him in second place.
And then the third row, the Casey Kane throwback on Matthew Bell's machine, and the 67 of Cameron Hearn. His paint scheme's not showing correctly, but he does not have a throwback.
Moving back to Ryan Hart's Indy 3. He's going to be starting in 5th. Brad Slaughter Jr. in the 8 truck in 6th place.
Keel Holmes in the 41. I remember this being a Casey Kane scheme, but I could be 100% wrong, so don't quote me on that. He's in the 41. Jordan Hurley alongside him in the number 5. Travis
Beckner is going to be lined up in 9th place in the 28 truck next to him. Garrett Grant, 46 in 10th place.
Michael Leip, Tide Ride throwback. Reminds me of the Kevin Harvick's old trucks that he used to run. Again, not 100% sure if that's the throwback. That's what it reminds me of. So that's Leip in the 26. Alongside him, the 48, Paul Irvin, and what I believe is a Jeff Burton throwback.
I was going to say, I think that's definitely correct one. Really classic one. 09 Bryce Senizek going to be lined up in 13th in the 09. The 77 of Jacob Bell is going to be lined up next to him in 13th place. Sorry, in 14th place.
And Senesac, that's the Mark Martin Eagle 1 paint scheme. We were confused about that earlier, but we figured that out. So that's the 09 tonight. And then Ryan Swan, Z-Line throwback, Kyle Busch, Brad Coleman, whoever else you want to think of it. I think of it as Kyle Busch, and alongside him, 85 of Jeffrey Wilson.
Moving on back in behind them, the 56 AJ Roderick's going to be lined up in 17th. Christopher Tate in the 6 truck's going to be lined up in 18th.
Rounding out the top 20, the Darrell Waltrip throwback on the 42 of Tyler Hallman, and alongside him, the 25 of Cody Cutterer. In
behind them, it's going to be Justin Anasogak in the 88 truck. Next to him, Eric Wineland in 20. Oh, did you just mention? Sorry, I was trying to make sure I click on the right guys. In behind them, Carter Coop in the 52 truck's going to be lined up in 24th. Danny Ware, 00 in 23rd.
Carter Coop, I believe it's a Kevin Harvick throwback, but the red replaced with purple. Didn't catch that at first, but it looks pretty sporty. Bobby Tinch, the 66, a great throwback-looking paint scheme, but I don't believe it's a part of the contest. He's in the 66 in 25th, and then in 26th, the 98 of Alex Weaver.
Back in behind them, Chris Seidenfein is going to be lined up in 27th, 45 truck. Laith Hicks in the 53 is going to line up in 28th.
Matthew Cochran with a pretty sporty Bass Pro Shops look in 29th in the 4 machine. Alongside him, the 99 of Tommy Ryan.
Back in behind them in 31st is going to be Logan Hartman, the 51. Jeff Ryan's going to be lined up in the 37 truck in 32nd.
And then the first of the non-qualifiers, the Red Horse Racing throwback of Jordan D. Martin. Alongside him, Shane Abbey in a body armor Ryan Blaney paint scheme.
And behind them, it's going to be Jeff No in the 55. The 57 truck next to him, Josh Taylor, is going to be in 36th. And rounding out your final row, James Coey in the 24 truck. Charles Canadian going to be lined up in the 44. That's going to round out your field here at Darlington. 38 trucks strong. The pace car is off the track. Field in control of David Weishart, leading them down 120 laps on tap for tonight. And we are green here at the track. Too tough to tame.
Oh, whoa, cars on the apron back there.
Yeah, saw one of the 5 wide esports trucks down on the apron trying to sort himself out. Looks like they're all clean for now. Meanwhile, for second place, the 18 and the 9 duking it out. Fambro and Bell.
It was Couturier on the apron. Fambro's able to keep that runner-up spot that he got at the very end of qualifying. As you can see how hard it is to pass already. It's going to be very difficult with how much grip these trucks have, with all the grip in the world under the lights.
Riding on board with the 3 Ryan Hart's trying to catch up to Cameron Hearn. Cameron Hearn, I believe, fixed that. There we go. He ended up fixing his truck. Doesn't have a throwback, but has his normal paint scheme. There he's in the 6-7.
You can see how quickly everyone single filed out. Just going 2 by 2 here. Whoa, car way down to the apron. That looked like the 77. Bell bounced off of the 48 of Irvin, but no harsher contact made. But it's so important to get single file here. If you're going 2 by 2 with a few cars, a few trucks, it kills your run and you lose so much time at a track as narrow as Darlington. So it's important for these guys to get single file.
Looking at Garrett Grant, Paul Irvin getting close together, nose to tail, fighting for 10th place at the moment. Whoa, Paul Irvin swerving almost off the track, getting loose off a turn. We've seen a lot of guys starting to get loose off a turn 4. Here comes Bryce Senizak now, looking to the inside.
And that's going to be the challenge. Someone like Irvin could have a mishap out of 4, but unless you get fully alongside him before you get to the entry of 1, you're not making that pass. It's going to be so important for these drivers to know when they have to back out.
Close battle here. Ryan Hart's trying to hold off Cameron Hearn in front of them. Colin Fambro trying to hold off a charging Matthew Bell, but Bell still struggling to try to get by the 18. David Weishart starting to break out to a slightly early lead, about half a second ahead of the 18.
Yeah, he got the lead off the initial start and has been able to get a decent gap. Second and third pretty close, and it's pretty close throughout the rest of the field. Really no one getting a gap. Paul Irvin, after his slide, he's going to go to the inside. It's really the first battle. He goes to the inside of Garrett Grant. I don't know. I don't think he pulled a slide job. I think Grant just let him have it.
Yeah, he went down below the white line. I mean, that's more of a suggestion in that line than the actual race, the boundary of the track. So went down there, threw it in there, and managed to make it work. Grant trying to charge back in turn one, couldn't quite get it done. Now Sinizak lining up for the plate.
Sinizak's going to try to do what he can. Dirty Air is going to play a little bit of a factor here. Not as bad as what we might have seen last night, but these trucks still have a decent amount of air on them. It's so important to get clean air on your nose.
Yeah, I was still genuinely surprised at how, I wouldn't say easy, but the guys last night had a lot better time passing than I thought they were going to, so I don't think for the trucks it should be too bad. I think early on, too, I think a lot of guys are going to be taking this race a little bit easy in these opening laps. Start to see once they get comfortable, they're going to start being aggressive. Speaking of which, I almost thought I just saw Cahill Holmes hit the wall, if not got very close to it in turn two.
Yeah, we already seen a few Darlington stripes. Holmes doesn't seem to have too much damage, but if you get further along to the back, 15th place Michael Leip, he's gotten his stripe. If we want to keep the count, that's one, but there's gonna be a lot tonight. Seidenfaden's got front end damage, and then you get back outside the top 30. A number of drivers struggling to keep it off the wall. It is so difficult to stay in the game once you hit it once.
Yeah, Gary, you see the crumple on the far side of that 26 truck. Keep an eye on him, see if it gets worse. And that's the thing too, is you hit it once, and then you end up finding yourself hitting it a couple more times before the race is over.
There's really no in between. You're either going to hit it 0 times, or you're probably going to hit it maybe 5 or more times. Once you hit it once, you really lose your bearings, and you try to get back to the line that you're comfortable with. Close racing, Weaver and Wineland there, but once you hit it once, it's so hard to get your bearings back. You don't want to be too wide through there, because look at the time the guys behind them catch up. Christopher Tate, Chris Seidenfaden, look at the run they get when you're side by side on the exit 2.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to stay high in the middle, 1 and 2, cut down low on the exit, and if you can't do that, you do give up a lot of time, as you mentioned, just cause the stack up, and you put yourself vulnerable for an attack. Speaking of which, there is... not the 11, sorry, I was trying to cut to the number, double zero, Danny Ware making a move on Weaver. Weaver trying to hold him off, a little bit of a shake from the 98. Oh, and some contact in behind.
Laith Hicks
Gets hip checked out of line. Going to lose a few positions, but he's going to continue going on.
That was weird. It's like the 45 was against the wall, and the 53 just caught him at a really bad time, but he was able to keep it straight, but you could see the damage to the right front fender that did.
And taking a look at Ryan Hartson, number 3, just lost a position to Cameron Hearn. Hearn was working on the back of him for a while. Now here comes Brad Slaughter. He smells blood in the water. He wants to have a go.
He's going to try the outside. Seeing a lot of drivers at the front running the very bottom to conserve the tire. The top can work. You get the run out of there, but I don't know how good it is on the tires. iRacing updated the grip a little bit before Road to Pro a few months back, and it made that bottom really work for tire saving, and it even had some speed, so it's definitely an option if we get later in this race.
See slightly different entries for a lot of these guys coming flying off the corner. Mostly straightforward. Dave Weiser still leading by a decent amount, and then you have the 18 to Colin Famro and Bell, who have still been in a battle. I don't think really Bell's pushing the issue here, just kind of riding the coattails of the 18.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have really any urgency to get by. There's no point to really push it, but it does seem like he pushed a little too hard. A little bit of damage right behind the right front wheel, but I don't think it's affecting him too badly, because clearly he's still able to keep up with the 18.
Try to take a look here. You can see it when he comes flying around back onto the front straightaway. Oh yeah, you can see. Is that on the right rear?
Right front, just a little
right
bit. He
front.
didn't hit it very hard. But
Gotcha.
it's very, very faint, really on the door. You'll be able to see it, but not affecting him too much. Really, no harm, no foul for the 9 car.
I
9
just
truck.
Just saw going off into turn 1, a move from the 46 to get by Paul Irvin. Whoa, and I think Senizak just got a taste of the wall. Big checkup, or move out of line for Jacob Bell. To be able to get the position.
He actually missed the wall, so Senizak got fortunate to not hit the wall. He saved the truck, but lost position, but I think he'll take that trade and call it fair.
Look at Senizak, hasn't gone anywhere so far early on. Started in 13th, running in 13th.
Really no movement. Not too much movement really anywhere. Senizak, like you said, stay put. Bell's up 2 positions. The top 6 drivers have not moved at all. 1 through 6 starting or running 1 through 6. And then Beckner has gone up 2 positions from where he started. Really not a lot of movement anywhere through the field. It's going to take a little bit longer for these tires to wear out to see some more movement.
Let's see what they can do. Also off the corner, looks like Paul Irvin's had a bit of trouble. Bell's gotten by. Here comes Senizak. Oh, contact wreck in turn 1. Senizak going to go spinning down to the inside. And no issue there. We'll take a look at your SimRap market replay here and see what happened.
Definitely an issue. There was definitely an issue. But 48 really hit the wall. You see the damage. Senizak thinks he has the run to get there, but just doesn't have him cleared and probably went up the track a little bit too much, and they made harsh contact. And I think Senizak's going to get the worst end of that, as that throwback's pretty much well done and dusted already, as he's going to come to pit road. Yeah,
so early stop for the 09. We'll see if he can fix that thing, get back out there. You saw that battle, and still looking at Garrett Grant now trying to work past the 41 Cahill Holmes. He'll be successful in that endeavor. Oh, and hello, this is a stack up. What on earth happened here to cause this?
Stack up from Paul Irvin, I believe, is what caused all of this, and it's not going to go away anytime soon because they're going to have to keep working their way past the 48 because you can see how far down on power he is down these straightaways. It looks like Hallman, Swan, Leip, Wineland was the latest to get by, and it's up to the 85 and everyone else to get their way by cleanly. Got to be careful. Definitely don't want to try three-way contact. There it is. Oh, hard hit.
And we're seeing spins to the inside. No caution. This is similar to what we saw last night. There's the caution out. And we have our first caution of the evening.
Irvin put on the radio asking if he was invisible because it does seem like he's getting roughed up. We saw that coming with the stack up, trying to get by him. Happens with the 48 up ahead. It's like the 00 tries to go 3 wide, so the 85 maybe tried to get back in line, but he was already under the 48. Alex Weaver nowhere to go as well. Really, really tough incident.
Right on board there. Just curious, was that admin thrown?
No.
It's not. Okay, surprised, because there were quite a few wrecks tonight last night where there was a lot of spins to the inside, no caution was thrown, so I thought we were going to see something similar here. The 85, a huge impact. And it looks like no other spin besides that.
Yeah, unfortunate for Alex Weaver. Really no part of it, but ends up getting the worst of it. As that was the 85 of Jeffrey Wilson who got into Irvin.
Riding on board with him, seeing this impact. Oh, he came to a stop on the track, that's why.
He wanted to reset. He was done because that truck was pretty much done. Cody Cotrayer got some damage as well, so that's 2 5-wide esports trucks caught up in the same incident there as everyone comes down for a fresh set of tires.
Indeed, definitely going to want those fresh set of tires. Trying to check if you can check for me and see exactly how many sets they have available.
They're going to have, let's see, trying to look. They have 4 extra sets, so they have 4 that they can put on. They start with 5.
Gotcha. All right, so they got a little bit of wiggle room there, but those sets can quickly run out depending on how many cautions we get, but down onto pit lane they go.
David Weishart might have the best pit sign as well. I didn't even notice that until now.
Can't quite see what yeah, I would say it's very nice, somewhat YouTube friendly.
Don't get the bots involved.
Oh God. Don't even actually. Let me check and make sure you didn't summon them. They'll come at some point. They always do.
They're inevitable.
Race off pit lane. David Weishart, Colin Fambro, Matthew Bell, Cameron Hearn, Charles Canita actually ending up. I was going to say I was surprised to see the 44. He did not stop in his pit stall. So I think he's going to come back down again. There he goes. Back down to pit stall. Move Ryan Hartz back up into 5th place. And while we have this little caution break, I also want to mention, actually I forgot to mention Roasted Gems Coffee, which is our starting grid sponsor. Fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. Use discount code AREA for 10% off your order at Roasted Gems Coffee. Sorry, roastedgems.com. Always think that is roastedgemscoffee.com. I always keep forgetting it's roastedgems.com.
Yeah. It's a little bit confusing, but It's pretty simple once you get the used of it. Looks like Kaneda. I don't know if he even took tires. I didn't really see. He didn't spend too much time in his stall, but it's a weird stall. It's one thing when you have a big grid at Darlington. He's got the pit stall right behind where the wall juts out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it can be very difficult to find that. I hate that's why you got to qualify here, not because of track position, but because you don't want a pit stall that screws you.
Yeah, I always wondered, do you know why that wall juts out like that there?
No idea, but it's always been a weird characteristic of this pit road that's really not talked about. I can tell you why the turns in 3 and 4 are more thin, but I don't know why the pit road is a little bit different.
Yeah, but I think for that, I feel like most people have heard. Oh, actually, I can see it right there. If you look, there's a tunnel. The track tunnel comes in there.
Ah.
I assume that's why that's there. Don't quote me on that.
Right. I would say that's a pretty decent guess, though.
So didn't take a look at our weather for tonight. Pretty similar to what we had last night as well. 82 in the air, 85 on the track. I'm sure everyone wishes it was 82 degrees now. It's starting to get really cold.
I'm not really happy with what we have at night now, but there's nothing we can do about it. But meanwhile, 1 to green, getting ready for the restart. Weishart, the first restart of the race, he'll choose the outside here.
Yeah, not too surprising. Did see last night restarting. This is more for the older tires. Was definitely a bit of a concern, but just cold tires in general. You have to be careful on that restart. Make sure you don't spin the tires. I don't think these things have enough torque to make it that an issue, but you never quite know.
If they were worn tires, maybe, but everyone's going to be on a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles and should be able to get going. And it's important, once again, for these drivers. Got to get single file as soon as possible. You do not want to be too wide for even a full lap, really, because of how much time you can lose here.
And we'll see how this restart is going to play out. David Weishart given control of the field once again. First restart of the night here on lap 23, coming to lap 24. Has to wait patiently for the restart zone before he can gun it. And there he goes, and we are back green at Darlington. Taking a look at these guys coming flying off a turn 2, the 3 and the 8. Hart's in.
Hurley in the wall.
See a bunch of guys checking up and damage to that truck, but we remain green. Everyone somehow sorts themselves out through that, but a big stack up in behind them. There's the 26 of Michael Leip and the 46 of Grant duking out side by side, and everyone's still trying to organize themselves after that restart.
Yeah, gotta really be careful. We saw what happened last time they stacked up. That was contact between Hurley and I believe Beckner, but Beckner gets away clean. Hurley's gonna really struggle with the right front of that machine. Look at how stacked up these guys still are.
Yeah, taking a look at that Simrat Market replay of that incident there. There's a decent lick for the 5. So I'm curious if he's gonna lose some pace. Looks like he is starting to lose some pace. Can't quite keep up with the guys up ahead. Here comes a 26 on the attack.
Got to be careful. Leip sends it in there, no contact, but can't really keep the pace down on the bottom to get by the 5, as Hurley should get the run off of 2 to maintain that spot, and that puts Leip, we don't make that pass, it puts you at risk for the next corner.
Like up ahead, the 3 and the 8 still trying to decide their battle. Similar paint schemes. Drivers both running well inside the top 5, or trying to fight inside the top 5. Looks like Slaughter's going to win on that occasion. He's going to clear the 3 finally.
Very close back there still, as Slaughter gets clear. Garrett Grant gets clear of Jordan Hurley. Michael Leip. Oh!
Hurley back in the wall. Spin down on the inside. Spin back across the track. No caution.
Hallman's in it. Jordan Martin, Seidenfaden, and still no yellow, as there won't be any yellow.
Yep, this is what I was talking about. This is what happened last night. We had a lot of wrecks to the inside, and there was no caution. You see the 42's getting spun, and there's the 11 trying to slow down, come to a stop. Actually blinks for a second there, and you saw Seidenfaden packing into there as well. Take one more look with the 42 of Hallman. See what happened from his onboard.
That's Leip trying to get by Hurley again, and he hits the apron. The apron shoots up the track, even a little bit of neck code. I don't think that would have been that severe if it wasn't for that. And unfortunately, the 42 gets the worst of it.
He will be down on pit lane getting some repairs, but we remain back green on the surface. We had, I was mentioning, too, because it was funny last night. Every time Eric Wineland jumped in the booth with us to give us a report from pit lane, there was almost always a wreck on the track, especially to the inside lane. We had, I think, probably 5 or 6 wrecks that should have been cautions and never came out for those. And the rule for our area is that admins cannot throw a caution. They talked about it, but they decided to remain consistent with the rulebook and just let iRacing decide it as they normally do. So
we had more contact at a turn 2. Hurley got into Paul Irvin, and Irvin had to slide and save it. There was no other harsher incident other than that, but chaotic as everyone's still trying to get by the 5 who's really severely down on power at this point with all the hits he's taken.
Yeah, you can see how it's hurt his race so far. 8th place, gone back to 28th, and still dropping. It's not been a good night for the number 5 machine.
We're going to have to look at how this run goes, because what this has done is it's really split the field. The top 11 or so are way out ahead of everyone else. Cahill Holmes to Tommy Ryan is about a 3-second gap. And Ryan and Shane Abbey on their own. Cody Cotrayer way out there. This has really split everyone apart.
You can see the gaps. There's Tommy Ryan, Cahill Holmes a little bit further up. It's a little bit side-by-side action. Michael Leip, as he comes flying out of turn 4, almost has a look to the inside, thinks better of it, almost gives a shove to the 26 off into turn 1.
Yeah, those two are pretty much in their own zip code as well. Garrett Grant a little bit further up the road has been pulling away from those two with no damage on his truck, which would probably be why. Holmes faster than a 26. Leip sees it's finally just going to let it by.
Yeah, deciding to play it a little bit smart here. Just figured it's not worth battling at the moment, but here's the rest of the top 10 working their way on through. And then take a look back, a little further back, Cody Cutterberg. He's got some damage to the right side of that machine. You can see how dented up it is, so he's definitely going to be suffering on the pace side of things, and I think we can see Wineland starting to chase him down.
Definitely say that it has not been a good night, even 30 laps in for the 5 Wide Esports guys. They have really struggled, not really with pace as far as we've seen, but they haven't had a chance to show their pace. They've been caught up in really every incident that we've seen tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, more a victim than anything. Haven't really been the cause of anything, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. And unfortunately for that team, it looks like they've been the ball more times than not tonight.
And the batter is Babe Ruth, apparently, because he is slamming the thing out of here. They have really had a rough time, and that's, like you said, that's what happens at Darlington. There is nowhere to go when trouble happens.
Here comes Wineland on the 25. I think he's running about almost 0.3 a second faster than the 25 lap after lap, so it's not going to be too surprising to see who wins this exchange. Wineland clears the 25. Here comes Anna Sogak in behind. Battle for 15th.
Anna Sogak, not a part of a throwback battle because this is his normal paint scheme, but technically it counts. 5 years ago, Dale Jr. ran that paint scheme, so technically he's not gonna. You can't vote for him, but it's not a bad shout.
Does iRacing, sorry, not iRacing, does NASCAR actually have official guidelines for what constitutes a throwback, or?
I don't think so. They might tell teams what the general theme is, but I don't think they have to abide by it.
Gotcha.
But if it's a throwback, run it. Or, well, don't overdo it with the paint schemes that you do run, because I'm pretty sure we'll see the Rainbow Warrior scheme in about 2 years. Again.
Yeah.
One thing, isn't it funny how there were 2 Jeff Gordon Flames throwbacks, and one was by Hendrick and one was by Alpha Prime, and Alpha Prime outdid Hendrick? Does that make sense to you? So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, that is really weird and kind of surprising. I don't know. I guess they just didn't feel like trying that hard.
And Andy got put in a wall to go along with it. Byron did, so it's unfortunate. But that was probably the best paint scheme of the NASCAR season, in my opinion. That 44. The Flames, that's probably, first of all, the memories of me as a kid. That was just so awesome to see that.
Taking a look through the field, everyone pretty separated at the moment. I think that all that chaos, as you mentioned before, just really strung everybody out. And also there's quite a few damaged cars as well. We have we're only left with 28 trucks still running on the track after just under a third of the distance completed. So lost quite a few trucks. in the going, namely Jordan Martin, Jordan Hurley, Danny Ware, Tyler Hallman, Bryce Senizak, Christopher Tate, Chris Seidenfein, Alex Weaver, Jeffrey Wilson, and Logan Harmon. They've all called it a night so far.
Senesak did get back on track, but he's now on pit road in the truck, so we'll see if he gets back out. Yes, he will, but pretty much 9 trucks already out of his race, and that's how this can go sometimes. Only 28 all 28 trucks that are on track or on the lead lap, but not for much longer, as that's one thing about getting so spread out. We're going to see some lap traffic a little earlier than expected.
You can see what Connor was talking about there. 44 Charles Canina and Matthew Cochran duking it out for 27th place, but not too far behind is David Weishart. And I'm sure he's going to be hoping these guys move out of the way quickly. Wow, Weishart going flying out of turn 2, almost hit the wall.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pace off of turn 2, more than Fambro almost all the time. Still a tenth faster than Colin Fambro last time by. Hearn matched Weishart's pace, but he's still yet to really make any sort of attempt to get by the 18 machine.
I was going to say, and Weishart opening, everyone moves out of his way pretty quickly. Can't give up too much time. Fambro is still not necessarily breathing down his neck, but keeping up pace with the 33. Hasn't quite let him out of his sight. Cameron Hernan behind Matthew Bell, Brad Slaughter, your top 5.
And they're all spread out with the pack that was ahead of all the chaos that initially started. Slaughter Jr. got by the 3 of Hearts, but hasn't pulled away. They're still pretty close for the 5th position. And Travis Beckner, who had initial contact with Hurley off the restart down the backstretch, he's nice and smooth at 7th with minimal damage. And then Jacob Bell, who's made his way up 6 spots, one of the bigger movers of the night, other than Tommy Ryan, who we haven't talked about until now. He started 30th, and somehow, through all that, he's got a clean race truck and is up 18 spots.
There is the 99 somehow carving his way through the carnage. And he definitely knows what carnage is because he felt that last week at Atlanta. So far, so good for the number 99, trying to make it up into 11th and get past Lipe in the 26 machine.
And even further in the background, Shane Abbey's under fire from Eric Wineland. Wineland's going to have to move to the inside. Ryan's on the bumper of Lipe, but Wineland's the one making the pass as he's able to get by the 12 machine as Tommy Ryan starts to set up the 26 as they get by the 4 of Cochran.
Take a look at Wineland and behind. Shane Abbey still over the back of the machine. 21 versus 12. Abbey going to have a look to the inside. I think Wineland, I'm not sure if he's hit the wall there. It sounded like he hit the wall, if not got very close to it.
Yeah, he barely tapped it if he did, but it looks like it's pretty clean. One of the few Ford trucks in the field. He actually might be the highest running one, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is, but trying to carry that banner.
Abbey.
Big hit. And he's still against it. That was a hard hit.
Shane Abbey in the number 12 machine. That was the driver who just went into the wall. Taking a look at that damage. Not too bad. Definitely better than some of the other guys out there, but definitely don't want to hit it any more times than you need to.
Definitely still running, so that's a positive for him. As trying to look at some of these guys are really squeezing to get by his lap traffic. Cameron Hearn's trying to side draft as much as he can, as the top 2 have really separated themselves now from the rest of the field. Weishart, Barrenborough, they did such a good job to get by those few lap trucks they did, while Cameron Hearn kind of had to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, riding on board with Ryan Hartz in the number 3. He's got the 9, Matthew Bell, just up ahead, and then up ahead of them, Cameron Hearn in the 67, 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the track.
As those 3 separate themselves from Brad Slaughter. Brad Slaughter must have had an issue in that lap traffic as well. Hartz got back by him, so put Slaughter back to 6th. Hartz into the top 5, and Travis Beckner trying to fight the 8 machine.
Whoa!
Almost contact with Jeff No there, but kept it off him barely.
Yeah, very, very close contact. I don't even think the 28 got a scratch from that, although I definitely can imagine his heart rate increased significantly after almost getting taken out there.
I would say so, but that's what happens. You have no room to get by these lap trucks. You just have to kind of force it at times, and that's sort of what Beckner was trying to do there. He used up all the room he could out of a corner as Bell's now under fire from Hartz. Bell's running the bottom, but can't really do anything as Vanbro not happy with lap traffic, but nothing he could do about it, as we were talking about, is Hartz is trying to set up the 9 truck.
Yeah, looking at Cahill Holmes getting by Garrett Grant. Grant almost aggressively moving to the inside in turn 1. And Holmes is going to secure that spot that he just got in 3 and 4.
Grant's got a lot of front end damage. That didn't happen too long ago. It was actually Kaneda who hit the wall, and Grant had nowhere to go. So that's why Grant's going to be down on pace now as Tommy Ryan is closing in. That is a lot of damage. And that's the type of damage when you get on the front end. You got to watch your temps too, because that is going to really cave in the nose of that thing.
It looks like someone really just took a sledgehammer and this completely just went to town on the front end of that car. It is a solid dent in the front.
Some of that short track rage got to someone at Darlington. As here comes Hartz for that 4th position.
Hartz now throwing to the inside of the 9, Matthew Bell. Bell looks like he's going to yield, at least for now, unless he's going to try to set up a move back again on the front straightaway. He's got the run. Is it enough, though, for him to make a move? No, he's going to back off of it.
He said in the 3 that he could have it. I don't think he had any intentions of really battling him for that spot, so he'll try to get in line. Looks like that damage might be starting to hurt him on the longer runs right now, so he might have to find a yellow to maybe try to repair that.
Checking him back with our leaders, David Weishart's got just about a second lead over Colin Famro. There you see working past the 48 of Paul Irvin. He's been struggling with his damage now as a lap down. Only got 22 trucks on the lead lap. And everyone pretty spread out. Take a look from the top view. You can see all across the track, everyone not necessarily equidistant from each other, but you can see everyone, there's at least one truck on some part of the racetrack. There's not really a whole lot of open track left.
Yeah, and there's not going to be much open track left for the rest of this one. Even with the trucks that are out of the race already, you're still going to have cars really littered around the track.
Plus some exchange for position back here. Jeff No, James Coey. I thought they were doing something. I think it was just the 46 trying to work through lap traffic. Garrett Grant. Cahill Holmes now in the back. Trying to work his way around the 55.
Yeah, it's really going to hold him up. It's going to let the 46 back towards him as Holmes finally gets the hole out of turn 2 to get under the 55, but it's brought the 46 closer, and Tommy Ryan still continues to sort of claw his way up closer and closer to the top 10.
Everyone working their way through 3 and 4 now. You can also really just hear how much they have to let off here, and especially with the torque of these trucks, it seems like they're going a lot slower, especially compared to the Cup cars.
Feels like it, but we've had that downforce they have through the corners. They still feel like they're flying. Grant really struggling out of the corner, and here comes the 99. He's probably going to have enough of a run to make this pass.
Yeah, it's got to be so frustrating for the 46 of Grant. Nothing he can do because he's got that nose damage. It's hurting him aerodynamically. It's also probably hurting his engine, too. I imagine he's got some decent engine damage with that with the damage he received. Looking in behind, just saw Eric Wineland slowing off the pace in 4. And Isoga got him by. Shane Abbey trying to do much of the same. Couldn't do it. Take a quick look. Sim Market replay and see what happened. Caught the wall in turns 3 and 4. And you can see how much speed and momentum that killed.
That is a classic Darlington stripe. When you get up there, you don't really hit it. You just kind of slide on it and get stuck to it. And he really got stuck to it, like you were talking about. The momentum you lose is so severe, you cannot really risk doing that. Because Cameron Hearn's going to be under fire here. He hasn't gotten a stripe yet as far as I've seen, but he is under fire as Ryan Hartz is flexing his muscle on this long run.
It definitely seems like he saved quite a bit of his tire, quite a bit of his equipment to try to push now. But the problem is he's got to get past 6-7 on Cameron Hearn, and Hearn's definitely not going to make it easy for him. Whoa, Hearn, as I say that, I think a bit loose off the corner and actually lost that momentum.
I think he was just letting him by. It didn't look like, I didn't see any wiggle. I think he just knew Hartz was faster and didn't want to fight it.
It's kind of curious. Just wanted to see if, take a look at his hands. Oh yeah, that didn't look that way. It looked like he was sideways because there's so many people that got sideways in that part of the track. So Hearn yielding to the 3. Bit surprised for that. Oh, and there's the 44. Charles Canina flying through the order because he came into the pits, got some fresh tires. He's going to feel like Superman.
Until everyone else pits. So live it up while you can, Charles, as he came in 3 laps ago. 27th place now. 3 lap
Woo!
down. That was tight. Got to
Wow.
be careful when you're passing the leaders with fresher tires. That's going to bring Hearn right back to the bumper, but he won't do anything.
I think almost gave Hartz a heart attack there. from that was a lot closer than it needed to be.
His reaction on the radio was simply, "Don't do that," which I could sort of agree with him. Got to be a little more careful when you're flying by on older tires. Got to know where you can make those passes a little more cleanly.
Tommy Ryan, we were just talking about him earlier, has finally caught up to the back of Cahill Holmes in the 41. Oh, he's going to have a fantastic run out of here. Holmes completely messed up turn 2, and there he goes to the inside. And this should be fairly textbook for him. There he goes, off into turn 3. We'll get 9th place.
Tommy Ryan could get a yellow. He might be my pick to win. His times, even getting through traffic at times, he's been matching, if not better than the leaders every other lap. So that 99 has so much speed, but he just didn't have the track position to start. And without a yellow, he could get them a top 5 still, only about 4.7 seconds up the road. So it's possible, but if he really wants to try to get some more track position, he needs a yellow.
Yeah, we'll curious to see when these guys are going to come down to pit lane, because this race is really starting to fly by now. We're just approaching halfway. And not much left to go distance-wise, and these guys have been out here for almost 40 laps on fuel economy. When do you think they're going to come on down?
I don't think they can go much longer than they have.
Can they make it on one more stop?
I would assume they're going to have to maybe try to. It's going to be about 50 laps on the tank each way. I believe they can do that at a track like this, but it's going to be a little bit tight. And you don't really like having to really stretch the tires like that, but you don't. The tire wear in these trucks is not severe enough to warrant an extra stop, so expect pretty much everyone to try a one-stopper here. Not even try. I think they should be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm just curious because I was looking at the lap time. It looks like they're losing about almost 2 seconds off the pace from fresh tires to old tires. So curious to see if we may see these guys consider coming down pit lane. Maybe I imagine majority are probably going to try to stay out and just run the tank out. I'm curious if we'll see a few guys try to, make a gamble. And I see, I think that's 51 moving out of the way. Logan Hartman. No, it's not Logan Hartman.
Logan Hartman's the first one out of the race, actually.
Who was that truck?
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
I think Josh Taylor. There we go. Josh Taylor in the 57.
Jeff Ryan comes in the pit. I don't think that's a throwback for Taylor. I don't think we've talked about Josh Taylor at all, but he definitely has his battle scars on the front and on the right side, but still running 21st.
Yeah, still a good day. And actually, he just picked up 2 spots because you guys are down in pit lane. Ryan Swan, Jeff Ryan have elected to come down pit lane. Think a little early?
I think where you would pit probably are closer to 70 if you're doing a one-stop, but Ryan Swan was back in 19th. I would be surprised if it's going to be pretty tight to make it this far, but I think if he wants some track position, it's kind of what he has to do.
I think Jacob Bell had a bit of an issue here coming on at turn 2. Lap truck coming by, 24 had to let up, got into the wall, and lost spots to Tommy Ryan and Cahill Holmes here in turn 3.
That's why it's so risky to try to undercut, because you're going to be on fresh tires and you're probably going to have no room to go anywhere as Josh Taylor gets into the wall there. It's so hard to pick a lane in a short amount of time when you really only have a lane and a half to choose from, as Brad Slaughter Jr. is going to come to pit road. Jacob Bell as well. They're taking that skinny line all the way around the inside wall. Jacob Bell almost slides as well. I can't believe Slaughter made that. Michael Leip, Eric Wineland in as well. I can't believe he missed that wall. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely take a SimRap market replay look at that, because oh man, that was. They see Jacob Bell come flying sideways in behind them. Wow.
Kurt Busch-esque, a little bit of a throwback in race for the 8-car of Slaughter. My gosh, he's going to take his 4 tires, and thankfully he doesn't have to repair any sort of right side damage. That was pretty crazy. Bell was in, AJ Roderick came in, Wineland, and Light.
A few guys are starting to come in, so I'm curious. So the leaders, what is this going to signal? Are we going to see more guys come on down, or are they going to try to stay out, run the tank out a little bit more? So far, Wise aren't showing no signs of coming in. Same thing with Fambro, Hartz, Cameron Hearn, he's coming in.
Well, these lap trucks are getting on some of the leaders' nerves. Travis Beckner just yelled at James Coey for almost getting into him at a 2. These guys are really cutting it close. My gosh.
They're pushing hard into pit lane. I have a feeling at some point it's going to bite someone, and someone's going to nail that pit road attenuator, hit the barrels.
No attenuator here, just pretty big water barrels as Lipe is getting
close
back
enough.
on pit road. Close enough. It helps the impact. Close enough. The main leader's still not coming in. Colin Farnborough, though, has really dropped off. It's now a 2.3 second gap from him to leader David Weishart. And I thought Hars would catch up a little bit more. He's really kind of lost a little bit, as I think he's really struggled with these trucks on fresher tires getting by him at bad times.
Yeah, I just want to mention quickly our replay. Whoa, as I say that, never mind.
That was Matthew Cochran just getting out of a way, I think, because he's going to come to pit road. Thought that was a spin, but he was just trying to take evasive action.
Yeah, doesn't look like he's coming on down. Definitely missed the cone. He's just going to kind of ride the apron there for a little bit. So as I was saying, I just wanted to give a mention to our replay sponsor, SimRat Market. Fans, be sure to check out simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint schemes. Custom ice cream. I can't speak tonight. For custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and will help you stay more focused on the racetrack. I'm definitely going to be more focused on the racetrack with the way I'm talking tonight. So fans, again, please be sure to check out simratmarket.com.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of close calls. Like you were saying a few minutes ago, it's only a matter of time until it bites someone, but we really only have the main leaders to pit yet. So you like to hope it's not one of the main leaders who catches themselves out. And one thing you're talking about, how the 4 of Cochran missed the cone. That orange cone on the yellow line, that's what you're aiming for. It's unlike most iRacing racetracks, you have to get under that orange cone near the apron in the middle of 3 and 4 to be a legal pit stop. So I don't know how many drivers know about that, but I don't think it matters, as it seems like everyone is just entering really into turn 3 as Ryan Hart's, another main contender, comes in here.
Yeah, so I had a batch of pit stops, and now then a little bit of a gap, and now more guys coming on down. Garrett Grant also going to come in, surrender his position in the top 5.
Here comes
top
Weishart.
10.
Weishart looks like he's coming in, and he's going to go wide and cut it down and probably throttle up here as much as he can. Fambro coming in behind him.
Doing a bit of a puff of smoke from him as well as he's come on down to pit lane. Some more and more guys, more and more of the leaders coming down. Travis Beckner making his way down on a pit lane as well, waiting on Matthew Bell. Looks like he's going to ride out there a little bit more. Is this turn 2? This is turn 2. See, next time he decides to come on down. Tommy Ryan also there. You can see in the background, still out there on the racetrack.
Looks like Bell will continue. Ryan looking like he'll continue as well. The leaders who just pit, the top 2 initially who had just pit, they pit with just under, seeming pretty much about 50 laps on their tanks, give or take a few caution laps, and they'll basically have to go maybe 52 laps to the end on this tank if this does go green.
Taking a look at the lap time fall off for Matthew Bell. Last lap 31.9 flat. Fastest lap time is 29.6. He's definitely starting to hurt. Almost over 2 seconds of fall off. On the 9 there you can see, I think that's the 37, and also Cameron Hearn in the 67 blowing on by him.
Yeah, and this is probably a ploy. Bell wants fresher tires to the end and also wants security with his fuel in case he has to stay out for any reason. So this is really all this is. I believe Tommy Ryan, well, he did not pit. He's also staying out. Anna Sogak, Shane Abbey, Cahill Holmes. Cahill Holmes just came in, but
yes,
the top 4 on track have still yet to pit.
Not sure. I feel like at this point, they might be staying out there a little bit too long. Laps are starting to wind down, getting down to the nitty-gritty. And at some point, you're going to have to come in, and also at some point, you're going to have to make up. I guess they're just trying to wait and have, as you mentioned, just have really fresh tires for that last stint. But at some point, you're going to run out of time.
Yeah, you do have to make sure you have enough time to make that move. You've seen the overcut work before. I think it was Andrew Telkinoff in Outsiders a year maybe back. He was able to make it work somehow, even though we thought he was completely out of it, but he made it work. So not out of the realm of possibility, but that was with the Cup cars. These are trucks. The fall-off isn't as severe as it would be in a Cup car, so You can't stay out there too long or lose too much track position in case you get bit by a bad yellow, but that's what the 9 and 99.88, that's what they're really putting themselves at risk for. Whoa, really tight. Excuse me, really tight getting by the 88 of Anasogak. He's really struggling on those old tires of his own.
Yeah, taking a look at Cameron. So Cameron Hearn is leading the drivers that have come in for their pit stop. There's the gap back to Brad Slaughter. David Weishart cycled out to what would be third when everyone comes on in. So, but a little bit of a gap between them. That's because Weishart waited a while to pit. So he's got the fresher tires than than Slaughter and Hearn. So theoretically, should catch them down. Tommy Ryan, he's come in to make his potential final pit stop of the race. He's going to surrender second place. Bell is still out there. For how much longer is really the big question.
Doesn't look like he's coming in this lap either. He stretched the fuel and tires about 7-8 laps longer than the former leaders of this race. Cochran still lets people by. I don't think he's pit yet, but he gets back on track as 99 comes out of his stall. We'll see where he cycles out, and I'm interested to see where the 9 will cycle out because he was really struggling. The 9, Bell, he was really struggling, in my opinion, as the tires were on. So I was surprised to see him do this as Colin Farnborough is going to get his lap back with Cody Cotrayer pushing him.
And Tommy Ryan's going to come back out on the racetrack back in 14th position. I think I also just heard a car again on the wall. I think Anasogak might have just got on the wall. Not too sure, though. Whoa! 19 almost went flying to the back of Ryan as he was coming back on the track.
Yeah, that was really bad timing to catch the 99 at that point. Shane Abbey almost piled into it as well as Bobby Tinch comes in. Matthew Bell still not coming in, as it looks like now he's finally made the call to come down to pit road, 10 laps later than the former leaders.
So you'll get down there, make sure to bring this truck to a proper stop. Last thing you need now is a pit road speeding penalty. A little bit, but didn't see lockup, so I think he should be good. And he's still going to continue out there. Here comes Shane Abbey chasing him down.
And these would be the last two to make their pit stops, as they're only about 3 seconds behind. I don't know if Abbey wanted to pit there and missed it or what.
Yeah, he missed that by a country mile.
Yeah,
he shifted down. I think he was trying to.
Yeah, that was never going to work. He tried to get everything he could, but that was never going to work. You got to commit a little bit earlier than that, especially in traffic, as that's James Cooey coming off of pit lane. The 9, the right side's up now. We'll see where he comes out. And Asogak's still going to continue. Shane Abbey, he's going to try again.
Oh, he's really late. You're going to follow the lane, hit the commitment cone.
I think that cone would be a penalty, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if he waits in his box.
If at first it doesn't work, try it again, I guess. It didn't seem like he changed his approach much. I thought he would, but he really tried to charge. As Anasogak, he's made his call to come in.
Yep,
The last of the pitters. He's going to take a much cleaner approach, I would say, but let me not speak too soon.
I think this is definitely...
Shane Abbey is sitting on pit lane with a penalty.
Yeah, this is definitely the safer approach, and I'm not surprised that he's gotten his penalty. Completely nailed that commitment cone. So with everything cycling out, we finally have our picture of what this race is looking like. Cameron Hearn leading over David Weishart. You thought Ryan Hartz was in the picture. He was, but he got passed by Weishart on a tear right now on his fresher tires. About only actually 5 laps fresher, but it's still fresher than the 67s.
When the truck is fresher too, Jeff No and Cameron Hearn made contact, and the 67 you could see the damage on the front. Hearn's going to put more damage on the front. Probably not happy with Charles Caneda's lane choice. Caneda's in the wall, and Hearn has nowhere to go, and now the front end's really messed up as Weishart goes back to the front.
You can bet that Hearn is really not happy with that. Just taking a look, get a sim market replay of what happened there. So there's the bump from the 44. Is trying to, I guess, tell him move, get out of the way, and then 44 got on the wall, and there's 67 getting his nose damage.
Yeah, that's kind of a rough one. Caneda probably had the room to go to the very bottom to let the leaders battle amongst themselves. As now Ryan Hartz has spun Charles Caneda, and he's able to save it. As Caneda's not having a good time with the leaders right now. Oh,
he's spinning. He's sliding down to the apron. He's going to try to pit. No, he's not going to pit. What is going on?
I don't know what he wanted to do there, but all I hear was Fambro saying sorry. He and Brad Slaughter Jr. had contact, but they keep it straight.
Wow. Kind of impressed he hung on to that. I think if I was him, I would have just continued. I don't think he really needed to come down to pit lane.
Well, that was the backstretch pit lane. They don't use that anymore.
Oh, that's. I just assumed he was coming on down. Oh, right, the blue cone was there. I just assumed he was coming on down to the right pit lane. I guess maybe that's why he didn't decide to come down, because that was the wrong one.
Yeah, this is not Bristol. They used to use that when the start-finish line was on that side, but not anymore.
Nope, not anymore. Ryan Hart's just got past Cameron Hearn, and I don't think for Hearn he's got anything really left to compete with at the moment. With that nose damage, it's definitely going to be hurting him quite a bit, and Hart's going to drive off into the sunset.
As Hartz has his own damage after battling with Kaneda. They both really have severe damage because of getting into Kaneda. And that's just all David Weishart's really going to need now. A 4-second lead, and all the drivers behind him, other than Fambro, are damaged and not going to catch him anytime soon. So this is going to be tough for Weishart to throw this one away without some sort of yellow and some sort of crazy strategies happening.
And with that, now the actions kind of finally died down a little bit, and wanted to bring in our judges. There is also there's a contest, as we mentioned, the fan vote for voting for your favorite paint scheme tonight is also going to be some judges judging what they think is the best paint scheme, and we have our judges here, at least two of them here. So guys, I want to introduce you, Cosmin Yonishiwu. Cosmin is the owner of, trying to find where it is there, Cosmin's the owner of Splash and Go Paint Schemes, and Kobe is the owner of Sim Rap Market, who we mentioned a few times tonight. So guys, I wanted to introduce you into the booth. What do you guys have been watching the broadcast and watching this race unfold? What do you think is the best paint scheme out there?
Hello everybody. We decided on one. There's a few good ones out here. I respect some of them, especially that Frank Kimmel throwback. That's a good one. Always nice seeing some Arca throwbacks out here.
Which number?
46.
The 45. 46.
40.
Yes, 46. 46.
Trying to find where he is.
Meanwhile, Hartz is calling for getting to 44 off the racetrack.
Oh, yes, Garrett Grants.
Yes, that's the one I respect. It's a good one. Not our winner though.
Ah, so who's the winner?
Well, let's just go through them a little bit here. So that was my non-winner favorite. Which one was yours, Cameron?
I really liked the, let's see, I've got it in a note here. I can't remember which number. I believe it was the 18 car.
Call him Fambro.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. And then I'm always an Earnhardt fan, so the Earnhardt throwback I really like too. But like Cosmin said, not the winners.
Yeah, not the winners. There could only be one. There was definitely only gonna be one.
No participation trophies here.
Not at all. It's a really good scheme and really good execution.
Taking a look at Matthew Bell, so he's trying to move up through the order, running 8th at the moment. Solid throwback on his truck.
That one's really good as well. Respect the hustle. That's good.
Let's see who else he got. Got Travis Beckner out there in the 28.
The watermelon one.
Oh, is that the one?
Yep, that is not the winner. That's not the winner. It's just
okay.
the watermelon. So this one is based on a Ross Chastain.
Yes.
Does watermelon and Rick's hot sauce go together? I'm not sure.
Oh God.
Just don't try this at home, kids.
Let's just supervised.
All right, let's just announce the winner. Cameron, you take the stage here.
So Cosmin and I have both looked through the field, judging very strict, I guess you would say, and we both agree that the Kyle Busch 19 throwback is definitely the best choice.
Well,
Yeah, that's iconic. The scheme is just iconic. It was at some point synonymous with the Busch Series or Nationwide, whatever it was at the time. When Kyle ran that car, you knew it was going to contend for something.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely beautiful paint scheme, especially with the way he executed the HyperX blending in as well. Did a fantastic job there, and it just looks really nice. I also love the matte finish he got on the black going. This is a really, really beautiful car to look at.
Right. Yeah. It was all just perfect execution and prestige and everything.
All right, with that, that's the announcement for the official winner for the best throwback paint scheme for the truck series, and the fan vote is still going on. So if you guys want to, for the fans watching, if you want to go vote on that, the link's still in the description. Go to also areairacing.com/vote to vote for your favorite throwback. Ooh, is that 19 truck? It just got a little bit of a blemish. I think that's the first time he's actually hit the wall tonight. So a little bit of a dent on the right side.
Blame Cosman.
We jinxed it. Yes.
Well, Cosman, Kobe, thank you for joining us up in the booth for the vote. Hope you guys continue to enjoy watching the rest of this race.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so taking a look at he's also got on the ball again. Oh boy, he's denting
Cosman.
up. He's denting up this beautiful paint scheme. Struggling a little bit at the moment back in 18th. He's getting freight trained a little bit by guys on fresher tires. He's got the 9 coming back at him. Taking a look back at our leader. David Weishart. Colin Fambro has gotten past Ryan Hartz. Hart's actually trying to follow him on through some lap traffic.
Well, the reason Hart's got past is because Charles Caneda got back on track as Laith Hicks is in the wall. Caneda got back on track and just pretty much stayed right in front of Ryan Hartz. The old Chase Elliott move on Kevin Harvick in the Bristol Night Race 2 years back. He was basically doing that, but thanks to Laith Hicks putting it in the wall, that's put the 3 back in front of the 44, luckily.
And also Matthew Bell, I mentioned again, with his significantly fresher tires, he's got, compared to Brad Slaughter, he's got about half the tire life taken out of it, so you can see he's catching up very quickly off the corner. I think he should be able to break in back inside the top 5. Actually should be able to do it easily. 4 of Cochran going to move out of the way, and he's going to be battling Brad Slaughter in just a little bit.
Now an 8-second lead, David Weishart has. He's just, I don't even know if anyone else has led a lap now that I think about it, unless it was under yellow. His 33 has really not been shown any battle, anything at all tonight.
Like in his battle for 5th place, Brad Slaughter, Cameron Hearn, Matthew Bell all involved at different paces. Cameron Hearn is just trying to hold on to whatever position he can get at the moment. Oh, a little bit sideways down the front straightaway as well. 9 going to move his way on through Ryan Hartz, and Bell's up inside the top 5 just like that.
I think that was a frustration swerve from Cameron Hearn as Ryan Hartz. It's just, oh, they're wrecking in 3. Spinner, it's Fambro involved.
Up, and the caution is out. That's interesting.
Second place, Fambro just got turned. I think that was Josh Taylor involved as well, as Fambro can't be happy. Let's see what happened here.
So there's Taylor to the inside, and then comes swerving back onto the front straightaway, then dies down low at the last second. Got in the 18, pushed him out of the way, and he came flying back up into the 18 again. Wow.
I mean, I would say that's as blatant as it gets, but those two have not been near each other all night as Weishart comes to pit lane, but that was really odd. I don't know what to say about that. He comes up, blocks the 18. Maybe there he's trying to get out of the way, but Fambro committed to go low. And then Taylor, he just turned right and turned him.
I really don't have much to say about that.
There's not much else to say. That's all that happened. The guy just got turned from second place by a lap truck. That's just really unfortunate because Fambro was one of the cleaner trucks, paint scheme wise, and also just one of the faster trucks. And now he's got a lot of damage to work with as he's really unhappy on the radio, as you can imagine. But, the only guy, probably the only guy that's not unhappy is David Weishart because he has a clean truck and he's been leading the entire night. Yeah,
I think for Fambro, did he come in? He actually think he might have been still in the top 5 after that spin. So not the worst case scenario for the A team, but definitely not a position you want to be in. Weishart, as you mentioned, in a good place, gonna get take the lead. Hart's in 2nd place. Eric Wineland in 3rd. I actually think he's getting a wave around. That's why he's currently listed in 3rd. Travis Beckner, though, is going to be in 3rd when everything's said and done. It's all position gains for him. Matthew Bell in 4th. Brad Slaughter round out your top 5. Looks like Fambro is
repairing damage.
Oh.
I'm surprised he is repairing damage, but it does have a decent bit. Fambro's just
Yeah,
really going
I
off
guess
on
he
the radio.
figured. I guess he figured there's only gonna be 12 trucks in the lead lap, so he's only gonna lose a few spots. I think might as well fix that. Have a competitive truck.
He's lighting up the radio, I can tell you that. Sure.
Like I said,
And I can't blame him.
Yeah, I kind of can't blame him either. I would be very disappointed if I was involved in that incident.
A lot of wave rounds this time too. We only had at that point 12 on the lead lap, maybe even 11 because Wineland had a wave. We'll have 17 now, and kind of really lost track of where this race was at. This sets up a little bit of a sprint to the finish, under 20 to go, but it's kind of hard not to pick David Weishart. All the trucks behind him have kind of been through the ringer in that 33. No one's really shown him a challenge all night.
Just want to take a quick look at our race so far. Like, not this one, other one. There we go, race recap. 19 laps to go. We only had 2 cautions, believe it or not. This entire race has been fairly green. A couple wrecks in there, but they didn't get registered as cautions. And 3 leaders with 4 lead changes. And before we go back green, also wanted to take the chance to mention... I was trying to find where it is. rickshotsauce.com. Fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the points standings. Again, that's rickshotsauce.com, and do not, for the love of God, put that on a watermelon.
Don't knock it till you try it. Gotta try everything once. Don't listen to opinion. It works on everything, I'm sure.
Oh, God. I mean,
Get Ross on the phone. A little bit of a combination flavor.
Maybe we should put that. Maybe we should put that up for Rick's Hot Sauce to make a watermelon flavored hot sauce. Oh God.
Watermelon flavored hot sauce. That's pretty funny.
Me just saying that out loud is just disgusting. Oh God.
I can hear the disgust in your voice. Can we book Ross Chastain on Cameo? Can we get him to try this? I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. I don't know.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
We'll see if one of the possibilities is the Rick's Hot Sauce Chevy Silverado going to victory lane, but the damage tells me probably not, but we'll wait and see.
We'll definitely see. There's 2 of them on the inside lane, the 3 and the 28. We'll see which one of them gets to the front. If they can even get past the 33 of David Weishart, who's in control of the field yet again as he brings the field back to the green flag. We got 17 laps to go when we get back going and coming down to the end of this race, and we are back green at Darlington, and some spinning tires in the back. Guys, you can see struggling to get up to speed.
Car way on the apron, just getting out of a way. Keep saying car, I mean truck, but what's the difference? As everyone single files out, as Slaughter slots into the 3rd position, Hartz maintains runner-up as Tommy Ryan. We said if he gets a yellow, he has a shot, as here he comes for another position.
Oh, he's almost going to get into Beckner. A little bit of contact in the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to keep it down on the inside. Use it for try. He's going to put the 28 in the wall. He's going to go spinning. Hits Cahill Holmes. He's going to spin down the front straightaway, and no caution for that incident.
No yellow. And that was Ryan. He tried to use up the 28 of Beckner to get the spot, and he just was not clear. As you can see, a little bit of a door there. Tries to use him up a little bit more, and that one was enough to get away with, but he tried a little bit too much there, and poor Cahill Holmes had nowhere to go there.
Got back green in this 99. You got to jinx him there, commentator skirts, because that truck is definitely destroyed. You can see some smoke coming out of the back end, so he's going to have to get repairs to that machine. David Weishart leading over Ryan Hartz, Brad Slaughter for top 3.
It's 2 races in a row for the 99 where he's running up front and doesn't get the finish he deserves, and I don't believe he has a win in the trucks. It's not what he needs.
No, definitely not. We'll see, though, amongst these top 3 who is going to be the one to go to victory lane here. Starting to get down 15 laps to go, now 14 laps to go when they come across the line, looking a little bit further back. There's some battles brewing. The 46 of Garrett Grant. You're talking about how the front of that truck looks like someone took a sledgehammer and just went to town on the front end. He's still running pretty well, still running 6th despite all that damage. Colin Fambro, who we saw in that last caution, he's trying to make up some ground after fixing that truck up a little bit. Stuck back in 7th.
Well, the way the racing tonight has gone, even with the damage on the 46, as long as he's still got the engine running, you could probably get a top 20. But like you said, he's doing better than that, still in 6th. 18, trying to make up for lost ground. Jacob Bell, same thing for him. That 18 was fast all night, but needs to start climbing back in a hurry with closing in on about 10 laps to go. And meanwhile, at the front, once again, just like all night, David Weishart's had no challenge from anyone. Hartz just can't get there.
So exchange positions a little bit further back. 53 trying to late Hicks trying to get past Michael Leip as they're both side by side out of turn 4. Whoa, almost some contact there. Almost some contact again down the front straightaway.
I don't know if Leip appreciated the racing. Matthew Bell to the inside of Jacob Bell. I don't believe there's a relation, but I could be wrong, as Bell's really wheeling out of turn 2 to try to keep the 9 behind. Yellow is out. Caution. Way off track. Oh, Jeff Ryan and Jeff No. The Jeffs have crashed hard on the front straightaway.
Huh. Interesting.
Running,
yeah, this is pretty bad. Wow, I saw a glimpse of that in the when I was trying to get back to the replay. Take a look here. Surprise wreck near the tail end of the field.
Paul Irvin. They just come together. Really no fault, just racing. Is a hard hit for No.
Oh, and then got hit, destroyed by Tommy Ryan. Sorry, was that Jeff Ryan?
Jeff Ryan. Tommy Ryan is out. Someone else hit him there. I think that was the 44 of Kaneda again. These two, I don't even know if they're racing for position, but they come together.
Take a look at Jeff Ryan's point of view in the 37 truck up ahead. You can see everything brewing. Come off the corner. Beating and banging across the line. Truck coming flying across the track. Tries to brake in time, but no good, no dice. Goes flying in.
You have some strategy with that yellow coming out with 10 to go. Weishart and Hartz stay out. Slaughter as well. Beckner as well. 4th place, Cahill Holmes pits with Grant, with Fambro, with Bell, because they do all have a set left. So they're going to use it and see what they can do.
I love this kind of stuff when you have these guys. We have the split strategy in the top 10. A few guys decide to stay out in front. More guys decide in the back to come on in. I think this might matter because we saw with...
There's not a lot of people. I think only those 4 stayed out.
Yeah,
only those 4.
I think that's going to be the big thing that helps these guys that came in because there's only 4 guys that they got to get past. And when we were watching, I forgot who it was. I think between Weishart and Hearn or Hart. I'm trying to remember who it was. There's only about a 5-lap difference in tires, and that made quite a bit of a difference for the guy with fresher tires, even though there was a small difference in the tire life.
Well, one thing that the guys who pit are taking advantage of is how many cars were on the lead lap. The majority of the guys who were on the lead lap were only on the lead lap because of taking the wave around. So obviously they were going to take tires because they had no choice. So that was pretty heads up by Keogh Holmes and the rest of the guys who pit, knowing that you're really not going to fall back too far if you pit here.
Yep, and then everybody also, again, strengthen numbers with these kind of strategies. That's really where you benefit from it. Again, with only Weishart, Hartz, Slaughter, and Beckner staying out, everyone else coming in behind. Garrett Grant still, again, really at the top. I'm still amazed that this truck is running as well as he is. He's got fresh tires up there. Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to try to take the lead, I think, but still is in line for a very solid finish.
That's why he got out first. He might have been the only one to take 2 tires. Everyone else takes 4.
Oh,
but Grant's going to be on 2 here.
Yeah, correct. Didn't look at that. The pit time. Coming down to pit road, you can see he only spent... Oh, sorry, I forgot that does not show the time. Only spent 9.2 seconds in the box.
It's probably not the one you want leading the tire brigade, but he's going to be on the bottom, and Weishart's been taking the top, so it might be important for Weishart to know what lane the 2 tires are in, so maybe he can get that lane ahead so they can't take advantage of Garrett Grant.
And I'm still trying to look and see. Remember, we were talking earlier at the top of the broadcast, guys who we have not yet to see come to victory lane. Weishart's run a race. Hartz has run a race. Brad Slaughter has not won a race yet. Beckner has won a race, won a Gateway. Garrett Grant, not for him. Cahill Holmes, Jacob Bell, all have not won a race. So it's quite a few guys waiting in the wings trying to see if they can get their first victory of the season.
As Weishart is going to take the bottom. I thought he might, and he has. The tires, they went about 6 laps on them. The tires really hadn't fallen off yet, time-wise, but it's still, like you said, strength in numbers. Guys, more guys that pit than guys that didn't, so that might be all those guys need to maybe make a run at the win here with about 7 laps to go.
Coming down to the nitty-gritty here is, if it wasn't a sprint before to the line, it's definitely going to be a sprint now. They're going to have 7 laps to go when we take the green flag. Will we make it back without a caution, Connor?
No. I'm just saying no. There's definitely going to be a wreck. It might not bring out a yellow, but I think we're getting a yellow. Here we go.
Well, let's see what happens here. Weishart's led every single start and restart tonight. No one else has led the field back to the green flag, but can he hold off enough of these charging guys on fresher rubber in behind to hold off for a win? We'll see. Green flag back in the air. Weishart off to a decent start. You can see everyone jockeying in position for the line, trying to get to that outside lane as Weishart leads the field into turn 1.
Hart's clear. Slaughter's clear. Garrett Grant almost clear. Him and Beckner fighting. Grant gets ahead. Keel Holmes trying to go, but Beckner's still fighting back.
Beckner running down to the bottom, trying to get to the inside of the 46. Garrett Grant can't quite do it. Here comes Jacob Bell around the outside of Cahill Holmes, and the guys fighting with fresher rubber in behind. Whoa! Eric Wineland going flying off to the side. He's going to save it, come back up into the racing line.
Oh, Fambro and Bell made contact. Bell had to lift hard. It's going to stack up Hernan amongst others. Fambro gets the spot. Grant still the furthest up ahead on tires, but you can see he's struggling and he can't compete.
No, he can't, and here comes Beckner trying to work to that inside. I think, as you mentioned, I think that was definitely not helping these guys with Grant with his trouble with his car, with the damage. As you saw, Ryan Hart's trying to make a move on Brad Slaughter Jr.
Holmes in the wall there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just saw him slow on the front straightaway. There is Fambro with his damage, as you mentioned, trying to work his way up through the order.
He's got to go a little bit quicker. Pretty much out of time for these guys on pressure tires to make anything happen. Jacob Bell's trying. He'll pull to the inside of Beckner, but he really has to get the spot now, as Beckner's actually going to let him by, surprisingly.
There you see him behind. Colin Fambro also working his way on by. We'll get past Holmes. Same thing with Bell, Jacob Bell, that is. Sorry, not Jacob Bell, Matthew Bell. Make his way on by. Cameron Hearn in 67, also trying to work his way past the 41. He will just about get clear in turn 1.
And Matthew Bell clears Fambro, and the yellow is out again.
Oh.
And this puts us in green-white checker territory. It's Paul Irvin. He's had another rough night. He's in the wall really before the entrance of turn 1, so another incident on the front straightaway. Another one with Irvin. This happened, like we said, on the front straightaway. He's in the same spot.
There's 26. Light trying to make a move. Oh, and just moves across the 53. Wow. 11 almost got Kareem there.
Yeah, that was close. Yeah, Paul Irvin, he had a target on his back a little earlier. This one, I don't know if he's blocking or he just thinks he's clear, but you could see from the Lath Hicks view, definitely comes down. Not much Lath Hicks can do. And Michael Leip, literally nothing he could do there.
Well, you're definitely right about the caution coming out. Almost actually made it there to the end without another caution.
Top for a second, I was gonna be wrong. I say we, as if you made the decision. I made the decision, but I was right. So I can laugh in your face if I wanted to, but I'm not.
Yeah, we'll see here who's going to be laughing, though, amongst the guys in the top of the order here. I'm curious because Jacob Bell, he's gotten past... Actually, he hasn't got past. I thought he got past 46. Did not get past him. He got past Beckner.
He will be on the inside, but it's going to be... we might see Weishart take the top now, so Garrett Grant can get the jump because he'd be right behind Weishart.
The only issue I can see now, and this is similar... I guess a spoiler, technically, for last night, if you didn't watch that race.
Excuse me. Cody Cotrayer almost hit Beckner getting his wave around. That was close. Excuse me. You can go ahead.
Take a look at that. Coming around.
Oh, he hit Cameron Hearn.
I think
that looked
yeah.
That looked blatant. That wasn't. I don't think Hearn was happy because he started speeding up to go after him, but then went back.
I just noticed that too.
I don't know what that was about, to be honest. I think, actually, now that I think about it, I feel like that might have been who Hearn hit earlier when Hearn initially got the front end damage, but I don't know why Cotrayer would be.
No, wasn't it Kaneda that he hit?
No, he hit Kaneda after.
Oh,
a few people hit Kaneda. I really couldn't tell you what that was about, but
A lot of people hit a lot of people tonight.
a lot of people aren't happy, it's safe to say. I think we can guarantee only one person's happy, and it's David Weishart. Even that's not a surefire conclusion, because we still have a green-white checker.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier. I forgot to take a look at it. As far as how many laps are led this race, David Weiser's currently led 107 of the 119 laps that we've completed so far. So we talk about a driver dominating. Definitely look at this 33. Trying to look at anyone else who's led the remainder. I think it's probably just a couple guys down the order. It's probably Matthew Bell led 9 laps. I think he's the only other one who's led a decent amount of laps.
Gotta love Darlington. Not a short track, but the tempers sure flare like it's one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're still not done yet. Oh, yeah, what I was saying before we saw that incident with Cutter taking the wave around, last night what happened, we saw the leaders coming to a green-white checkered. As they're coming down, leader spun his tires and wrecked as they're coming to the green flag. So we got the caution immediately, and the race was over. We're in a similar situation. I don't think the tires are quite as worn out, but they've had at least 2 heat cycles now, so they're a little bit worn out. What do you think of the odds of the same thing happening?
I don't think they're very good. I don't think Weishart and Slaughter are at risk of doing that. But unsurprisingly, as we take one to green here, I think Weishart is listening. I think he's taking my advice. I'm going to take credit for him taking the outside, because this lets the 2 tires get the jump, and doesn't let Jacob Bell really get that jump on the inside, and Beckner's on old tires on the top as well. So definitely the right lane choice for Weishart. But as far as tire spinning, I don't see it happening. They might not make it 1 lap, depending on how aggressive his restart is, because you can't really get aggressive on a restart at Darlington. You can only go 2 wide. 3 wide is suicide, but we'll see how much these drivers are willing to risk.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how much they're willing to risk here. Coming down to the wire. 4 cautions so far this race as we come down to our only attempt at a green-white checkered here. If we get the caution before we get the white flag, the race is going to be over. We get to the white flag first, we will race it back to the line. We'll see, though, what's going to happen. Will it be Weishart continuing this dominant performance tonight, or will there be an upset with the 8, 46-3, or even the 77 coming on through at the end here? 2 laps to go. Just over a minute separating us from the end of this race. Weishart leading the field back to the green for the final time. Waiting to come into the restart zone, and there he will go. We are back green here at Darlington.
It's the jump he needed, and they're going to be side by side for second, but Grant just doesn't have the pace, almost in the hearts.
Taking a look at the 8 Brad Slaughter Jr. coming back to the line, side by side with the 3 and the 46, heading off into turn 3. Side by side for them. Weishart breaking off into the distance. Will we make it back to the line?
Yes, we will.
Indeed we will. A few guys in the wall off of turn 4 in the background, but as you mentioned, we will stay green. Brad Slaughter trying to hold on to second place. Garrett getting turned into turn 1. He saves it for now. Hart's is going to go underneath to get on by, and he's the 46 getting freight trained. Can Jacob Bell try to upset and break inside the top 3? Some guys loose in behind, weaving in behind, but up near the front of the field, working his way through 3 and 4. It's been an absolutely dominant performance for David Weishart. He will come out of turn 4 and take the checkered flag here at Darlington.
Never a doubt. It's probably the first time legitimately all season we could say never a doubt. He never had a challenge under green for the race lead. Absolutely dominating performance. It's hard to dominate a track like Darlington, but he just did it.
Fantastic job from Weishart. You can see Brad Slaughter coming to give him congratulations. And in the scrap in behind, Ryan Hart is able to hold off a charging amount of drivers on slightly fresher rubber to hold off to 3rd place.
It's not every day where the cleanest truck of the race wins the race. And it's especially at Darlington, it's pretty rare that we have clean trucks. And we saw a lot of attrition, but the fastest truck was able to keep the cleanest truck, which is pretty crazy.
See Weishart burning it down, lighting him up here. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find anyone that doesn't think this 33 deserve that win.
Yeah, that's literally not to be blunt, but literally no one else deserved this. He had all the pace, never a challenge. Really, I don't know if without pit stops, I don't think we saw a green flag pass for the lead. The 9 tried, the 3 tried, the 8 tried. Everyone got the second. Number of drivers ran second, but that 33 was so strong in clean air.
Let's go through your finishing order here. As you mentioned, David Weishart taking the checkered flag first. Brad Slaughter Jr., Ryan Hart's rounding out your top 3 with Jacob Bell. Travis Beckner rounding out your top 5.
Then Matthew Bell 6th. Cameron Hearn, with all that damage, covers for 7th. Eric Wineland was having trouble all night, but still gets 8th. Swan and Fambro rounding out the top 10. Unfortunate for Fambro, he looked to be a top 3 truck all night, but couldn't get the result to really back that up.
Yeah, had some run-ins with some lap traffic, and I'm sure he's going to be looking back and feeling disappointed of what could have been. Garrett Grant managing to hold off to 11th place. I'm sure he probably would have wished for less cautions because his truck was just not in good racing shape. AJ Roderick, Cahill Holmes, that was also another disappointing finish for him after the way he was running looked like he had top 5 pace. Justin Anasogek, Michael Leap in 15th place. Cutter, Hicks, Irvin, Abbey, and Coop rounding out your top 20.
Swerve Irvin was involved in a lot of things tonight and still somehow gets 18th, so good for him as we get to the sort of back half of the rest of the field. Matthew Cochran, he was out of it from the very beginning with damage, 21st. Cooey, Tinch, Jordan Martin was out early in the Red Horse Racing throwback. Kaneda, he had a few run-ins tonight, and then that's the last of the running trucks. A whole lot of attrition tonight, Vivian.
Yeah, you see Jeff Ryan, Tommy Ryan, Josh Taylor, Bryce Senizak. Gotta refresh one more time through this order. See the rest of them. Then you see Hurley, Ware, Hallman, Tate, Seidenfeld, Wilson, Weaver, Harmon all out. Darlington definitely was the track too tough to tame for quite a few drivers out there.
For nearly half the field, but that's what can happen, and a lot of contributing to that was the amount of wrecks we saw that really didn't bring out yellows. A lot of times when that happens, drivers can get discouraged and will just pack it up, and I think we saw a lot of that tonight. This it's not the Monster Mile, but this track definitely took a bite out of the competition tonight.
Yeah, let's start going through your interviews here. We'll talk to Ryan Hart first. Get him up here in the booth. Hey, Ryan Hart, SimTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ryan. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't quite the win for you tonight. Ended up in 3rd. We saw you trying to make some charges there, and we also saw you trying to just hold off the guys coming in from behind you. How was that, trying to hold off the guys on fresher tires there at the end?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't really going to be a big deal, but apparently tires mattered at the end, especially for battling for a top 3. Yeah, first off, I want to apologize to Garrett Grant. I don't race him like that, and I really like racing with him. And I don't know, I looked at the replay, and it looks like I just didn't even turn for the corner, and I didn't even realize it. So I'll take the blame for that one, and I apologize. He was probably going to get me off of 2 there, so yeah, I feel pretty bad about that. But other than that, it was an alright race for us. It just battled way too tight throughout the whole entire run. I just couldn't get the truck to turn, so it got so bad to where I started to downshift in 3 and 4, and you don't really do that on an oval in the truck. So yeah, overall it's a good night. Good to get a top 3 again, and congrats to David. He was just flying all night. I had nothing for him when I was behind him.
Yeah, looking at the strategy calls you made tonight, anything that you feel like you should have done different or could have done different to try to get yourself up in front, or do you think that just Weishart was just too hard to catch?
Nah, probably the only thing I could have done is taken tires on that second to last caution. Because I think I would have restarted 5th. But hell, even then, I don't think I would have gotten him because it was already hard to pass. So, I mean, it's like the only thing I could think of. But like I said, overall, it's a great night. Good pace by all the JBR guys. I feel bad for Jordan because he got wrecked again in the early portions. Yeah, it was a great night for JBR. Thanks to everybody on that team, especially Jacob. Thanks to Rick's Hot Sauce for coming on board this beautiful Dennis Setzer scheme. Matt Bell made this. Then it's a really cool looking car. So thanks to Cosman for the scheme yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed it because that scheme meant a lot to me for my grandmother. So on the next week, I forget where we even go now.
Technically next week's is the All-Star race, but after that we'll be heading to Bristol Dirt.
Oh, I won there. So I'm excited.
All right, well, I'm excited for you. You're being excited. We'll see how you do there, Ryan. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, with that, we'll go to second place finisher Brad Slaughter. Brad, you got a copy?
Absolutely. What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up? How was that finish for you? I know obviously it wasn't the win. You got close. We saw you trying to chase on the 33, but couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, man, I'm more than happy with second here tonight after I was pretty abysmal there on a long run. So to get a couple short runs there at the end and be able to get home second, I'm pleased. And then we got DWR in victory lane with David, so we're all good over here.
Yeah, definitely. And just wanted to talk with you because it's honestly kind of surprising. I didn't quite realize this, considering that you have such good speed. The fact that you haven't won a race yet this season so far. Do you think you have any races coming up that you think you might be able to finally get that win of the season, or do you think you just not had the luck this season so far?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Just really want to get back to some more conventional mile and a half stuff like that. We've kind of been on some. Just a unique tracks, a little bit different layout. I mean, honestly, I feel like I probably should have had Gateway, and I made some mistakes there with the restart penalty. So, just got to get back to some conventional tracks, and I do feel like we got some tracks coming up that suit me pretty well, as far as like Charlotte, Michigan, stuff like that. So, yep, just looking forward to getting to those tracks and get this Matco truck back. Well, get the Matco scheme back on the truck. We got the Dale Senior Nova scheme tonight, but we'll get Matco and Lumar back on the truck next week, and hopefully we can get them.
All right, Brad.
We got All-Star race next week.
Yeah, I got the All-Star race. I'm looking forward to that. So, Brad, thanks for talking us. Best of luck to you in the All-Star race and also for the rest of the truck seasons.
Yep, thank you guys, and shout out to everybody watching. Love you, Pop.
All right, with that, we'll go to your race winner here, David Weishart. David getting home the win. David, we saw you get out of there. You led 111 laps. How did you manage to pull off such a dominating performance?
Nah, your guess is as good as mine, man. I put in like over 250 laps of practice this week and turned 0 laps in this vehicle. 0. Like my first laps on track this week in this truck were practice. So, I don't know. I just had speed. I'm usually not that good here in the trucks, and that bottom and it's so backwards from normal because usually the outside in 3 and 4 is the line. But man, if you hooked that dotted line on the bottom, it was almost like old Atlanta where it would just grab you and it would just pull you all the way around the corner. So I just focused on hitting that all race, and I was really good on a long run. So I didn't really want to see any of those yellows because I had a huge lead there, and I know Ryan Hartz is so fast here. He's so good. And I was really worried about that, and when half the field pitted there with, I don't know what, 10 to go, something like that, I got real nervous, and my hands are shaking like crazy. But glad to come out here with the win. I think Brad got P2, so decent team points tonight.
Yeah, definitely some decent points tonight. David, I also wanted to ask you, how was working through the lap traffic? We saw quite a few incidents be caused by the leaders trying to get through the lap traffic. How was your experience dealing with them, especially being the first one to get to them?
Yeah, I actually didn't have that much trouble with them. They were getting out of my way pretty decently and in good spots. Like, that's the thing about Darlington. It's one thing to get out of somebody's way. It's another thing to get out of their way in a spot that's good for both parties. And yeah, so I didn't have that much issue with it. I know my teammate Colin, he had to come in together with a lap car, and it ruined his race, and that sucks, man. Colin's been real fast and just has unfortunate things happen to him, and it'll get turned around though. He's too fast of a driver to keep having that kind of stuff happen to him. So yeah, I mean, the lap traffic was unfortunate for a few guys tonight. I'm sure the admins are taking a look at it, and they'll get it sorted out hopefully. So hopefully that doesn't become a issue going forward.
Yeah, well, David, solid race, or excellent race for you. You did a fantastic job out there dominating tonight. Second win of the season. We'll see if there's any more coming up for you shortly.
All right, thanks, guys. I just want to say big thanks to all the DWR sci-fi guys. We all had quite a bit of pace tonight, and we all didn't get the finishes we deserved, but it was encouraging to put it 1, 2, 3, 4 in practice, and I think 3 of us qualified in the top 5. So that was really nice to see, and hopefully we can carry that momentum.
All right, David, thanks for talking with us.
All right, thanks, guys.
And just after, now we have one more interview to talk to, and that's Matthew Cochran, because Matthew Cochran was the winner of the fan vote by 1 vote over the 56 of AJ Roderick. So Matt, you won it by a nose, but you still won it. So congratulations up to that, and just kind of walk us through your throwback paint scheme. What inspired you to run it tonight, and how did you manage to get the paint scheme done? Because in general, we saw a lot of the guys do a fantastic job, and also wanted to ask the tribute. What was the tribute on the back for? I think I saw it also on the back of Paul Urban's car.
The tribute for our team is for our team owner, Joe Darnell. His brother died this year in March. It's to Kevin. That's why I've run the 4 number is for his brother. And then the paint scheme is a Ty Dillon throwback for when he ran at Eldora, because I like running dirt racing. So hopefully I have a good showing at Bristol in 2 weeks. But that's why we run it. So
yeah, well, definitely you had a solid paint scheme put together. Unfortunately, not quite the result back in 21st, but like you said, you put it for running at Eldora, and we got Bristol Dirt coming up next week. So best of luck to you at that event.
thank you very much.
All right, with that, it's going to wrap up interviews for tonight here. Connor, your final thoughts on this race?
A lot of attrition. Darlington's a lot of races we do at Darlington, we've seen a lot of attrition at them, and tonight was no different. These trucks could not really tame the track too well. Close to, I believe, half the field were out of this one, and I feel like almost everyone had some sort of damage, but really the only truck I can remember who didn't have damage, that 33, David Weishart, dominating performance. Back-to-back as well. Had a little bit of a Thanksgiving break and decided to go back-to-back, and we'll see if he can go over 3 in a row. First repeat winner of the season in the trucks, and he did it in dominating fashion.
Indeed, and as you alluded to a little bit earlier, next week we're not going to have any racing for the area series normally. However, next week on Tuesday night, instead of truck action, we'll be having the All-Star race. And it was actually just announced the format that they're going to be using, as well as the car and track. They'll be using the original late model, not the super late model, the original late model on iRacing at the LA Memorial Coliseum Raceway. So that NASCAR has been using for the Busch Clash. So that'll be interesting. That'll definitely be a fun event. The past champions and past winners in the last year will be getting a provisional, and then there'll be an open race for guys to race into the main All-Star Race event. It's a really interesting format. Can't wait to get that, to broadcast that race, Connor. Assume you're going to be with me next week. Okay, I'm sure you're probably excited for that.
We'll find out if I'm with you. Still don't know, but it's been a blast broadcasting these. The schedule's kind of wacky at times, but either way, you gotta love coming in here and just watching good racing, and that's what Area puts on, no matter what combination they run. Cars, trucks, Xfinity, it could be Pro 2s at Daytona. They'll probably race well. It's a very solid league, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you.
Indeed, and we'll be back, though, on Thursday for some more Darlington action. It'll be the Lodge Box Series. The B Cars coming here with their throwback race. So, again, there's going to be more fan voting in there, more throwback paint schemes, and I'm sure those guys will have some absolutely beautiful cars. But for tonight, here for the Truck Series, it'll be myself, Indy DeCuna, with Connor Horn, signing out from SimTV. Thank you for watching.